All right. And then we're going to go live on Instagram.
Perfect.
It's thinking. There we go.
Everything. Yep.
The usual. All right. We are now live on Instagram. It'll take a minute before everybody kind of logs in and hops in with us. And this is a little later than I normally do, but not by much. And it's funny
Yeah.
because trying to figure out like the time schedule on the lives is always interesting because I do them at 8:30 because I know some people have the blue collar job where they got to get up super early. But a lot of times people like heavily come in around like 9:30, and then I'm like, but if I start it that late, is it too late? Because we talked for like 2 or 3 hours. So
Yeah.
it's always hard to like figure out what the sweet spot is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So tell us why we're talking to you today. What did we do yesterday?
I'm still not
Still
totally
recovering?
sure what we did yesterday. It was amazing, don't get me wrong, but it really did
It
feel
was a
like a
blur, I'm sure,
dream.
for you.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
felt like a dream. I mean, I don't think I can put it into words even if I tried.
that's fair. That's fair. I definitely, what's interesting about the event, and then for those who are joining us, because I haven't done an introduction yet, because I wanted to wait till a couple of people got online. Yesterday, Bryce hosted an event, and I'm going to let you say it because I'm afraid I'm going to butcher it. What was the event?
So, well, two things there. One, me, but also a group, which I'll go over later
Yeah,
on.
yeah, of course, of course.
But two, it's Yokai Kaizen dot
Yokai
JP
Kaizen.
for
Okay.
the
I would have
short.
been close. Would
Yeah,
have been
oh
close.
yeah. For the short, we do YK.jp just to make it
YK.jp.
super
Okay.
easy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what's interesting about this event was I didn't know anything about it. I was at Shenandoah for Wes's private day for his birthday, and he goes, "Hey, are you going to Richmond next weekend?" I'm like, "What's happening at Richmond next weekend?" I assumed it was a U.S. Drift event because the last event that I was there for was under them, and I was like, "Well, send me the link for whatever you're talking about." He forgot to send me the link. We've met, Wes. We understand. And I just happened to be on Instagram because I'm not on it as much as I post on it.
Hmm.
And I came across something about a media application. I was like, this must be what Wes was talking about. Then also did not know it was you and Memas Garage. Did I say that right? Is it Mema?
Yep, me
Okay.
malls. Yep.
Oh, Memas. Okay, so
Yep.
that's what
Yep.
I thought. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it wrong. Okay. Um, and then I didn't realize it was you guys until we got to chatting because again, didn't know what this was or why it was a thing, but everybody seemed very excited about it. I'm like, I know I'm missing something. And because I'm still so fresh to, doing all of this, I was definitely missing something.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, a lot of people didn't know about it, to be honest. There was a very extended pause. We kind of put everything out, like we put our first promo video out, or I say teaser video out, without saying anything basically on it.
Okay.
So a lot of people were very confused, and it kind of blew up. But then I think I can't remember the exact timeline because it's been 5 months of planning and going
Okay.
through the motions and the process. So I don't know the exact timeline, but I know it was a long time before we ended up actually getting to the point of yesterday.
Okay.
But we put out the promotional video, which kind of gave a little bit more of an explanation, and it gave a date, but it really didn't fill in the blanks. So
Okay.
we had there was a long process that it took to get to the point of yesterday.
Okay. Keep talking. I just realized I forgot my drink because I was trying to get put together as quickly as I possibly could for this after getting back from the airport. Keep talking.
No worries. I'll take over. Yeah, it was a long process. But at the end of the day, it was 100% worth it. Yokai kind of spawned out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Especially, this all, I guess I can preface it with saying, like, all of this started based on me laying in bed one night, being on Richmond Raceway's website and seeing the event page and basically being like, how difficult would it be to get in there and throw an event that would bring back a lot of nostalgia for the people that, one, either started drifting there back in the day when it was Spirit, or B, just throwing an event where it was all inclusive. It didn't matter where you came from. It didn't matter what your car looked like, as long as it was safe. It didn't matter, your skill level. We really just wanted to be as inclusive as possible with everything from, media to spectators to drivers to volunteers. I mean, it was all, it was insane, basically, to sum it all up. My brain is still kind of, like I said, a little bit of everywhere. So it's still very fresh, but I've had a little bit of time today to process it and get my body to stop hating me a little bit less. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like, there it is. I was trying to figure out how to comment and my screen was too small. I'm so sorry.
No,
my ADHD is a lot today.
You're so fun. So fun.
So let's back up a little bit, because the part and component that I was missing when I came across this was the spirit part. And a couple of people mentioned it to me while I was at track and like right before, the event and everything. Tell us what that is, when that started, how did it fizzle out, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wasn't one of I guess you can consider me like a late OG of Spirit, but not like an original OG. I wasn't at like the Dominion event, like Ridge or some of the other drivers that may have been there. But Spirit really, I can't remember the exact year it started. I know the last time we were there, which was probably late 2021 or 2020, somewhere around there, that area. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but Spirit was basically, I found Spirit through a friend, Reginald Harris, who used to be under White Knight.
Is Reggie the one with the white car? The mess of a human that I'm just here for.
Reggie, yes. So a lot of people don't know this, but like Reggie and I go way, way back. Reggie and my older brother, were actually very close friends years and years and years ago. And Reggie had found out about Spirit, the drift events, when it was very, very early on, and went out and bought an S14 from an old lady. I never remember it like it was yesterday. An S14 from an old lady that just didn't drive it. And it was a super clean, super nice car when he first got that car. Like, I remember the first time seeing it. He wanted to manual swap it because it was automatic, and my brother's a mechanic. So at the time, we manual swapped his S14 in my mom's garage on a fold out like kitchen table.
Talk about a memory.
Exactly. And he kept saying he wanted to drift it. I was into cars back then. I had a Celica. Somebody's going to give me crap for that.
No, you know what? I am okay with it, because like Celica and Prelude, I'm here for it.
Yes. So I was into cars, and at the time, actually, I was throwing car meets back then with another organization. And I remember Andy East coming to a car meet, and I can't remember who he was with, and it's going to kill me if I don't, but he came to a car meet, and I remember him just like, it was almost like watching like somebody who had just drank 5 Bang Energies. Like, he was so excited to be there and talk about Spirit and talk about drifting. And he had flyers that he had printed out. And he was just telling it what it was. And I kind of blew it off like, oh, okay, it's just another car meet or something like that. I really didn't get it. And then one day, back then I had a 300ZX later on. And I remember my brother telling me, hey, there's a Spirit event. And this was when this is when they moved over to Richmond Raceway, and it kind of started to blow up. And I showed up. I remember my phone broke actually on the way to the first Spirit event that I went to. I stopped at Verizon, and I was like, I got to get a new phone. I got to get this fixed like now. I'm on the way to a drift event. And the guy was like, what's a drift event? And I was like, I don't know. I'm on the way. That's all I know. It's super fun.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah. And so I finally get to the event, and I remember just like, it was crazy. I mean, you got car, just like how our event was. Basically, you had cars in the paddock everywhere. You had people everywhere. You had vendors everywhere. You had everything everywhere. And it was funny because I watched for a little bit, and then I realized, oh, you could walk up to these drivers and ask to get in their
conversation.
Car. And ask to get in their car and talk about it. And I remember the first person that I was introduced to was Brandon.
Which Brandon?
Brandon Taylor, the one with Black Rabbit tattoo.
Okay, yeah.
He's the one with the S13 black. And I remember getting introduced to him and I was like, hey man, can I hop in the car with you? It was both a blessing and a mistake. And I say that in a couple of different ways. It's a blessing because here we are today. And
he's your bestie now.
Yeah, well, that and drifting has become like, it has completely consumed me. I say that in a bad way too, because of the debt that drifting has caused me. And
he just joined our chat, by the way, Brandon. We're talking about you.
Yeah. So the debt that I incurred,
you're a horrible influence, is what we have decided.
The debt that I incurred after meeting Brandon, and I remember asking to get into his car, and he said yes. And the other bad part of it was I had not eaten anything that morning, and the only thing I had was like a coffee with way too much sugar in it. And I get in Brandon's car, and it's, it's just like yesterday. It's hot lapping. People are flying around track, and I hop in the car with Brandon, and we go around track. And about, I think the third, we ran 15-minute sessions back then, and I think the fourth or fifth lap, that coffee started to hit. And I remember I get and to this day, I still really don't ride passenger with anybody except for maybe a lap or two, because I do get motion sick. So the mistake I made, I remember this though. The mistake I made was I was like, let me pull out my brand new phone and try to record like in the car facing outwards, and looking at a phone while moving that fast and getting thrown back and forth sideways and everything else. Turns out it's not a good idea for one, only having coffee with a ton of sugar in it, and two, motion sickness. So I remember like the fourth or fifth lap, I think it was the fourth lap, I looked over at him and I was like, hey man, I think something's wrong with your car. We should probably get off. And it wasn't anything wrong with his car. It was because I thought I was just gonna hurl. It was gonna come. So he's like, no, it always sounds like that, and just keeps going. And I remember the lap after that. That's when I was like, it's coming. I looked at him and I was like, can you pull off? I'm going to hurl. Like, it's not even a question at this point. And he's like, don't do that in my car. Don't do that in my car. We yank off track, and I remember flinging open the door and like immediately, not actually hurling, thank God, but I immediately having having the motion. And it was funny because I remember feeling so awful right then in that second. But after that had passed, it completely changed, one, my outlook completely on cars and just motorsports in general, but two, the possibilities of what you can do with a car. And I think it had to have been like a week later. I had a day off, and it was in the middle of the week, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on Marketplace and see what I can find and see if I can get into this. And
that Marketplace will get you, won't it?
That's where the debt started. So I found a 1993 Mazda Miata, red, and it was bone stock, and it was probably one of the cleanest Miatas that was on Marketplace at the time. And the guy wanted $2,500 for it. And don't get me wrong, I had the $2,500, but I went to go look at the car like an hour away, and his wife had made it very clear that she was not a fan of the car and that she wanted to get rid of it very quickly.
Okay.
So as a joke, I was like, well, I'll give him $1,000 for it right now. And I will say there was a belt, the main belt on it was holding on by a thread. And I looked at my brother and I was like, is this going to make it home? And he did the old, like, sure, it'll make it home. Like it'll make it.
Fine.
And I said, jokingly, like, I'll give you $1,000. And his wife, all the way from the other side of the yard, yells, sold, I'll write you a receipt. And the guy was like, all right, I guess so. So long story short, it broke down on the way home. The belt broke. Smoke, blew coolant everywhere. Smoke came through the cabin. It was fantastic. So it turned into a $1,350 car because I had to get it towed home after that.
Sure.
But I saw that Spirit was coming out for novice clinics, and signed up immediately. Went out there with a bone stock Miata, which was, in retrospect, it was a great idea because it got me into the sport. But like going from what that car was when I sold it to when I first got it, like it was horrifying to drift. Had no business being thrown and driven the way that I was driving it. And for 3 years, I beat up on that car and never had a major issue other than the differential exploding at an event. But other than that, but basically that was my journey into drifting. And
Okay.
Spirit was basically, there's a lot of, and I want to make sure I say this like with 100% like honesty on my part, and I think for the rest of us as well. What happened, I'll preface this and I'll explain a little bit later probably, but what happened with Spirit was a horrible, horrible thing.
Okay.
I think it really damaged not only the culture, car culture in total, not just drifting, but in general, in Virginia and the surrounding areas. I think it crushed a lot of people. I had a lot of drivers, a few drivers that came up to me at the event and actually said that, number one, this was the first time that they felt like they were at Spirit during the good days, and number two, that they really stopped drifting completely after everything happened.
Yeah, that kind of narrative I've heard before. Jimmy says exact story is mine. Stock Miata until the diff went bad. Hell yeah.
Yep.
I've heard a very similar rhetoric in some of the spaces, not a Spirit specifically, but something will happen that makes people question why they're doing it, and then they just walk away from it, like they just drop it. They're like, "Fuck this! I don't need any of this," or
Yeah.
it leaves a. But I think that's the hard part when you do anything in a group dynamic. We've got duality. There's two sides to everything, and some people are above board and some people aren't. And it takes a hot minute to figure out who those people are. I don't know the background on Spirit, so I don't know what went sideways on it. If you want to talk about it, we can. We don't have to. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'll give the full picture in the shortest way possible. I mean, obviously, right above my head, I have a Spirit SSS Speed and Style. That was my first competition ever in that Miata.
Okay.
There's a whole story with that too. But
Okay.
Spirit, like I said, it was a drift event that came to Richmond Raceway. It was 100% at Richmond Raceway. To be honest, I had not heard of any drift events, obviously, until Spirit.
Okay.
And so when I started driving Spirit, it was from that novice clinic on. We did practice days, basically. I mean, not basically, it was monthly, sometimes
Okay.
2 times a month. And you're throwing in novice clinics in that same cadence of like, you'll have a practice day, then a novice clinic, a practice day, then a novice clinic, or 2 practice days, and then a novice clinic. So it brought a lot of new drivers into the sport. I think, probably the majority of the drivers that I know, or almost all of the drivers that I know, originally came from Spirit. Because of that cadence of having practice days and then also having those novice clinics
Okay.
that were 100% run the best way possible. And oddly enough, Brandon was actually one of my instructors at the novice clinic when I started driving, along with a plethora of other people, K-Bat or Kaylin, and so many more that I'm blanking out on completely. Dustin, her brother. But leading up to it, Spirit was very much a community. When you showed up to a Spirit event, you did not feel like you were less than anybody. You didn't feel like that you had to have $100,000 into your car. You didn't feel like that your skill level had to be 1,000%.
Sure.
You didn't.
The essence of grassroots.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
it was based around, and Spirit was not just a drift event. It was a culture.
Okay.
It was, seat time preached, seat time equals progression. It was nut and bolt check your car, be safe. It was proper ways to drift, proper ways to drive, safe ways to drive. It was really a lot of preaching on not only how to drift, but how to drift in a way that you progress very, very quickly. Hence the hot lapping. You go from, like me, not ever drifting before other than donuts in the snow, which did not work out well for me, by the way. And you go from, not drifting at all to progressing so quickly because you get thrown out on that track. I mean, as you saw, you get thrown out on that track with walls and you've got 10 cars behind you coming up on you 100% of the time. And if you mess up, they're coming.
Yeah.
It forces you to not only remember the things that are the correct ways to navigate through that situation and navigate through the track, but it forces you to progress so much quicker than anywhere else that I had ever driven.
Sure.
So, Spirit was a culture. At the end of it all, the owner of Spirit, whether I think he had, and this may be a controversial opinion, but I think he knew what he was doing. I think he knew what he was doing to the community. I think a part of me wants to think, at least, that by him moving to a different track. So this isn't going to make sense unless I explain it, I guess. But basically what happened is Joe, the owner, Joe Ascoli, who started Spirit, was running Spirit, basically started approaching people towards the end, which nobody knew it was the end, but towards the end, saying he was building a track out in Goochland, which is a county very close to here. And he basically needed funds. He basically needed investors. So instead of, I know he did go to some sponsors, at least that's what I've heard. A lot of this is going to be optimistic or skeptical, just because, nobody, I don't think really anybody knows the full story,
Sure.
or the background at least. But, I heard he did go to some sponsors, but he came to the drivers like me. He came to my brother. He came to, everybody that has anything to do with Yokai, and basically was saying, hey, I'm doing this. I'm building a track. I need X amount of money to do it. But in the way that I'm going to raise those funds, I'm going to sell memberships to this track.
Okay.
Did it very professionally, had sketches and plans that he had mocked up that he was sending me and other drivers, about, it was going to have shops that you could rent monthly to keep your car in. So you didn't even have to take your car home. You could work on your car there. There would be lifts. There would be, different training tracks. There would be all these different things, that, honestly made it very believable. And, actually shout out, this is probably not the shout out that you would expect, but shout out Reggie. He was actually one of the very first people that kind of came to me and was like, something's not right about this.
Okay.
And I don't know how, I've never really dug into it with him, I guess, but, it kind of started to get a little weird. He grabbed, we're talking definitely over $150,000,
Okay.
from drivers, from sponsors, from whoever. I'm sure there were outside people. I know people's parents invested. I know, people's relatives. I don't think anybody was excused from getting those kinds of messages or getting asked for those funds. He actually, believe it or not, reached out to my mom, who used to come to every Spirit event, because I drove every Spirit event, and asked my mom for money to have a membership, for me to go there, and said it would be a great present for me. So, he was very calculated. And like I said, I think in the back of my mind, I want to say that he had good intentions. I think from the beginning, he may have actually been trying to make it happen. There's some stories and things out there of, the person that he bought the land from. Because, he actually did have land that he was sending pictures of people to, not far from actually where Brandon lives, saying, like showing pictures of bulldozers on land, moving dirt, and things like that. So I think, it was very believable. And I don't know if it went sideways. I don't think really anybody knows the full 100% truth. And, it definitely did. Oh, go ahead.
I was there. I could see how somebody could bite off more than they could chew, only because I've been in business as long as I have in like different industries and stuff. I could see how that could be a lot to do if you don't actually have the background to go to completion. There's permitting, there's licensing, there's a lot that goes into that. And you also have to have approvals. So I could see how it goes sideways. I don't know anything about it. I'm just saying I could see how it goes sideways.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. There were talks of that too, where Joe would come to me and say, hey, I had a meeting with Goochland County last week. I went to the board meeting, and we have a couple people in the council that are fighting me on this. So I'm trying to get past that. There was 1,000 excuses on why nobody could come out to the land, why nobody could have an update. There were talks of, did he buy the land from somebody that didn't own the land? There's a lot that of spectacle out there of what happened. But regardless, I'm in business. I don't think going to your customer base for investments was a smart idea, in any way, shape, or form. Now, using profitable money profit money that you've made from your business to invest into something like that, sure. But reaching out to your individual customers and asking for the amount of money that he was asking for, is just bad business in general. I think at the very least, to be fair, Joe never really did come out and apologize. He never came out and said really anything other than, hey, I moved from Richmond Raceway to a track called Panthera out in West Virginia. If you bought a membership from
There's a
me,
whole other conversation about Panthera now.
yeah. If you bought a membership from me, that transfers over to Panthera, which I think the consensus on that was, well, that wasn't the deal. The deal was I bought a membership for a track that was supposed to be solely for drifting that you were building out in Goochland 30 minutes away, not all the way in West Virginia. So overall, it was just a very sketchy ending. I remember one of the last conversations that I remember the last conversation that I had with Joe. Because like I said, we didn't think it was the last event that we went to, the last event ever that I went to and drove. He let me drive on track. The event ended at 5 and he let me drive until 5:30, just straight through. And I found that at the time I was like, awesome. But looking back on it now, I think he was kind of milking it and trying to let everybody get their last runs in, maybe.
Sure.
But I remember the last conversation I had with him, he was acting very different, acting very weird. He had told me he had sold the infamous Skyline that he had and been driving there for years. He had told me that he had bought an 86 that he was building, and it came with the guy gave him $10,000 and all this money for it, plus his car. Yeah, exactly. Reggie's spidey senses kicked in. Sorry, I saw it in the corner of my eye. It caught me, but
I was holding on to it for when we had a moment.
But yeah, no, I mean, long to end a long story shortly. It was the best. I don't think I would be drifting to this day if it wasn't for Spirit. I don't think a lot of people would be drifting to this day if it wasn't for Spirit. I don't think a lot of people would have came to our event even if it wasn't for Spirit. I owe the beginning of my drift, if you want to call it career or just time, to Spirit, because that's where it all started for me. But it was that was the best culture, the best vibe, the best really everything. You have Sean Murphy, who came from Spirit. You have Kalen, like I mentioned. You have Dustin. Brandon's been drifting for a long time, but to me, he came from Spirit. Ridge came from Spirit. Chris Keithley came from Spirit. The first time I met Jordan was at Spirit. Basically everyone that I know, well, not everyone, but 90% of the people that I know and am very close with in drifting all came from Spirit. You can say whatever you want about how it ended, and you're probably right. But at the end of the day, he threw a damn good event. He threw damn good events, and the vibes and the culture were there. And that's the only reason I think he was able to get to the point to do what he did wrong.
Sure. Well, so now we're here.
Yep.
I guess, again, I went into this not knowing what I was getting into until I got there. And the way it was explained to me, or the things that I kept saying, were bringing back aggressive Japanese driving was how it was explained. Did I get that right? Okay.
Yes, 100%. Japanese grassroots aggressive style driving is the best way to put it.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So, fast forward, 5, 6 years, 7 years, maybe later. We've been driving US drift events for years now. We drove DoryCon.
DoryCon was fun.
DoryCon was amazing. Shout
Loved
out to
it.
Jason Richardson. That was amazing. We've driven DOD for the last number of years. And I want to preface this like very, very openly. There's not anything I can say negatively about any other drift event in Richmond or the surrounding areas of Richmond.
That's fair.
Everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone has their own style of doing things. And I think that there's an event for every single type of driver out there and every single type of car enthusiast out there. For us, or at least for me, I'll try not to speak for all of us. And I know most of, all of us are here, so they can correct me. But I felt like there was a homey aspect that I had been missing. I just never, I had never felt, I feel like for the last 5, 6, 7 years that I had been chasing the feeling that I had gotten at spirit events. Just the vibe.
I think that's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's fair because I think part of what happens sometimes too, like I know myself personally, I live in this spot that somehow is magically like an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes from like 4 or 5 different tracks. So somewhere within that time frame, like there's a track close to me, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean it's that way for everyone.
Correct.
So if the track that you go to doesn't have that, the vibe of inclusiveness and friendship and like that sense of community that you're looking for, doesn't really make you want to show up.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Or
100%.
drive 2.5 hours for it if that's how far away the closest one is for you, you know?
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, to be completely open to just this event that we had yesterday. The cool thing about the FOTE, the ticket system that we use, and one of the reasons why I decided to go with that ticket system, was it actually gives you a map of where people are buying tickets at.
Okay.
So we got to see a lot of Delaware, a lot of New Jersey, a lot of one person I think came from Florida, Maryland, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, New York. I mean, from basically any state that is somewhat connected to us or around us, drivers were coming, which, to be completely fair, I mean, there obviously was some skeptical people about just like yourself, and not in a negative way, but just like yourself, who were like, what is this? Where did this come
Yeah.
from? Who's running this?
Yeah.
Is Joe back from Spirit? There was a lot of skeptical people out there. But going back to what I was saying about like, I don't think there's anybody doing it wrong in the drifting game. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about drifting is that
Sure.
there's an event for everybody. There's a style of
Mhm.
event for everybody.
Yep.
And you just pick your poison.
Well, and I agree with that because I think there are some people that they don't necessarily, some people are very Japanese style of drifting because, that's the origins. And then there are some people where, whatever drifting they've learned here in the States is very different than that. It's just about the seat time in the car.
Yep.
And I think that's why you get kind of that difference in space, is just the fact that everybody's going to do it a little different based on their knowledge and experience of what it is. So depending on what knowledge and experience you get along the way, depends on where you're at with it. So I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everybody has their style and everybody has their likes and
Yeah,
dislikes. And I don't fault anybody for that. I think,
sure.
obviously, a lot of people knew that, US Drift had an event yesterday, the same day that we had our
Yeah.
event. And I had made a post last week or the week before that. It's all blending to me, but very recently where I said, like, we hope that, the people that want to drive US Drift get to drive US Drift. And we hope the
Yep.
people that want to come drive this. I mean, I've always been very, very open about that. I don't think there ever can be enough drift events around us.
Sure. Sure.
I don't think there's any bad drift events around us. I just think that there's more that can be added back into the community. There's more love that can come back into the community. And I don't think it has to be a who's better, who does it better, who drives better,
Right.
who looks better. I just really don't, because I wasn't brought into the motorsport that way. A lot of us weren't brought into the motorsport that way. And I really would hate to see it go that way. And that was part of, I think, the back of my mind interest when I started, when this all started with me just laying in bed and seeing if I could make it happen 6 months ago, was like, I wonder, one, if it's possible, and two, how it would turn out. And I think we got our answer yesterday. I mean, it was amazing.
For being an impromptu event. You know what I mean? Like it definitely very much came together for how quickly I saw it online, because I didn't see it till we were 5 days out from the event, I think it was. And I'm like, what's this thing? So yeah, no, I get that. And I think sometimes too, and I've said this before, I think it depends on why you're there. Are you there to have a good time with the homies? Are you there to level up? Are you trying to get somewhere? Are you trying to have a program because you want to go pro one day? I think it depends on why you're there.
100%.
All of those things are okay.
And all of those things are included in what we do at Yokai. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you want to go pro, come drive with us. If you don't want to go
Yeah.
pro and you just want to drive on the weekend, come drive with us. If you
Yeah.
want to come and just throw around your car that is not built for drifting and then you've never drifted before, come drive with us. I mean,
Yeah.
there is not a single person that I would look at and turn away. Now, if you roll up with no lug nuts on one wheel or no fire extinguisher or don't
Safety
have a
first.
helmet, that kind of thing, then that's a different story. And we will, and you know, that's the other big thing about us is like, we will help you.
You'll figure it out. Yeah, exactly.
We will help you.
That's like, we had 3 people that didn't have a media vest, but somebody else had extra, you know, and it's interesting because there are some media spaces that I have been in that, I mean, you would think there were trade secrets. There weren't, but you would think there were. And, you know, they're not out to help somebody else, or like, why would I do that? But almost every event that I have been to, and yet again, something I share, I always love the fact that somebody's like, hey, does somebody have this part? Yeah, go walk into my trailer. It's in the back left corner on the blue toolbox. And I'm just like, okay.
No, I would say that was one of the greatest things to see yesterday. You know, when we had our drivers meeting, one of the things I prefaced and made very, very well known was, you know, we're a family here. We look out for each other. If somebody needs something and you have the ability to help them, please do. If somebody misses something that you see that they don't see, let them know. Look out for each other. And I'm very proud to say and very proud to report that we had 4 drivers with major things that broke on their car yesterday that would have put them out for the whole entire day. And basically all 4 of them were very early on. 3 out of 4 drivers were able to recruit the drivers around them to help them, and 3 out of 4 drivers made it back on track to drive the rest of the day.
I think the only unfortunate one was poor Marquise. His girl had a rough day. His car had a rough day.
I mean, even then, he got a lot of seat time. I think, you know, the one poor unfortunate that I did see, shout out Corbin. Corbin was an OG Spirit driver. Corbin was the one in the, I think I'm reading your mind. I hope I am, but Corbin was the one that was in the God, why can't I remember what color his car was? But he was the one with the truck with the double truck bed.
Oh, okay.
He was the one with that, and then his car, and he was out there in the morning, and somebody can say it because I totally forgot what his car was, but I don't know how, but he was out there all morning. He drove from New Jersey, first of all. He drove all the way from New Jersey. He hit me up a couple of days in advance. They were planning on getting snow in New Jersey, and he asked me like, hey, if it gets ridiculously snowy here and we cannot make it, you know, is it okay if we get a refund or can we transfer it? And I, of course, was like 100%. You know, when I met Corbin, I don't know how old he was, but he couldn't have been any older than 16. When he started drifting at Spirit, he progressed very quickly. That was back when he had a BMW E36 BMW. And now he's got a 240 that is crazy cool with B knuckles. Unfortunately, the B knuckles is what let him down because the B knuckle broke, and that's what put him out. But he drove all the way from New Jersey, got a hotel room, drove all morning. He says he didn't mean to throw backies all morning, but they were very clean. He was also drifting the back section exceptionally well, hitting all the zones, all the boxes, and he's always been that way since I've known him. He's just a very consistent driver.
We're gonna go through the comments real quick because we have. Let's see, where am I going to go to? Patrick said exactly. It doesn't make sense why drivers are disappointed to see new and more events. And then who is Unc CCC11?
So that's Ricky.
Ricky,
he was the one in the 370Z.
I love you guys so much. Dawn does well with visuals, not labels that she has no clue what they are. I understand what a 350Z is, but half the time there's like 8 of them and they're multiple colors and I don't know. He said, if anything, they should be happy that you can door the homies at another track event almost every weekend in Virginia. We're lucky. Patrick said agreed. And then Chadwick, he's joined the chat. He said exactly, well said. Bryce is the man. Patrick said, I found an angle grinder in 2 minutes. And Callahan said the camaraderie. That's what her and Brandon like, and which is great. Actually, Callahan really liked the layout. I think that because, okay, Callahan, we're going to tell on ourselves a little bit. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I was at the entrance like later in the day and you were kind of, you like full sending it. And I don't remember who I was talking to. Somebody had swapped out. And I was like, she is doing damn good today. She's confident today. I like it. And, and then you went to get off track. Every time you went to get off track, you got really spicy right there at the end. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh no, she's getting off the track. Like, I was like, you did it intentionally, but I was so afraid for you in the moment.
No, she is a driver. She is a driver. I remember when she got that Corvette and first came out, and she is a driver. Her husband Brandon, he's a driver. You know, we're all extremely happy that they were able to make it to the event, and it was a blast. It was a blast.
Well, and then let's see, Chadwick said exactly well said. Love y'all. And then love you too. And then Patrick said 2-tone chassis, gold with white kit.
That was Corbin's car.
I think I know which one we're talking about. Unk said the Z never made it back on the track. It's still on the trailer. And then Brandon said S13 coupe, unpainted fenders. I think I know what vehicle we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Callahan said I had to calm down. It was fun. Smart girl.
Very cool layout. So a little bit of the background on the layout too. And this was something that I was really stressed out about and I think Brandon Taylor was stressed out about this also. But for months we were trying to figure out what we could get away with for the layout. And the two courses that we had done at Spirit forever were a course, which was, I think, if you've been in Richmond probably a year ago or a little bit further back, that's the layout that usually is run there. It's basically just the turn up. It's the big entry. And then it goes into the second turn the same exact way it did on Saturday. But instead of having all that back section, it just goes straight back and then back up.
I think I remember what you're talking about. What you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's a course, which is a very great course to learn on. It's a very easy. It's very easy to keep consistent driving on that course. And then later on in Spirit, B course was introduced, which is what we ran on Saturday. And B course is a very tight and technical, fun, the A course was the comp that is the windshield banner that's behind me, but I drove B course a lot. I think I drove it probably 3 or 4 times. Basically every event that there was B course I drove when it was Spirit, and we were very stressed out because we didn't know with the barrier situation or the track situation really if we were going to be able to get away with doing it safely.
My only concern with the track situation was at the entry where you guys had that patched pavement piece. There were a couple of them. I'm like, that was air. Okay. Yeah. There were sparks there. All right. Because that'll send you at that speed when you hit like a speed bump is essentially what it looks like. And I was like, everybody's doing it. We're good. But
so Richmond Raceway did that patch at no fault of their own. Before the patch, it was a very big dip. It was where the concrete met and it was a dip. So it's kind of like you get one or the other evil. Like before it was a dip where your tire would dip down into it and then kind of bump into the asphalt next to it. Then
and if you're low, like the little red car with the long exhaust, that RIP to the exhaust, or the tailpipe, I should say. Him and I think there was a Z that kept going through there. Like they just stuff just kept hitting it. So I can only imagine if you dropped into it, what that would look like.
Yeah. So it's really, to be honest, it actually is the lesser of two evils in my opinion, because you broke a lot of tie rods and things and suspension components on the dip beforehand. But Richmond Raceway, it then after the dip turned into a pothole.
Right.
Now, there was an event that happened at Richmond Raceway not too long ago, back in October, that we helped run without really knowing that we were helping run it. And that pothole throughout the night became worse and worse and worse. And the paramedic that was running that event actually ran up to me at one point and said, hey, a piece of asphalt, and it's the size of my head basically, came flying off the track into the spectator and vendor area and hit someone.
Oh, wow.
So at that point, for Richmond, I believe, and I'm not speaking for them, this is just my opinion and just in conversations that I've had with them, at that point, it became a safety concern to leave it the way it was.
Yeah. Okay.
So there was no choice but to patch it, basically.
Yeah.
If I would have been the one there to help patch it or something like that. Now, I will preface this with Richmond Raceway is the only one that is allowed to touch their track and do any asphalt work out there. So they had the best intentions. They still have the best intentions. I just
Sure.
think that I don't, drifting's different. It's unique, and I don't think
Yeah.
that anybody that doesn't do it or understand it or been to it can really understand what the environment needs to look like for that. And they
Yeah.
had the best intentions in that. I will say we are working on helping make that better and easier for drivers. But it was definitely better than the pothole, as Callahan's saying.
Well, yeah, well, there's a lot happening. So Callahan started the "Don't Manji the Straight." Kelly said, "We had a blast. Can't wait till the next one. When's the next one? We're getting there, Kelly."
Yeah.
Chadwick said, "Don't Manji the Straight. Focus on driving." Patrick said, "The sausage named by Jordan." I guess that's now the name of that strip of track is the sausage.
Correct.
And Kelly said, "Feels like a speed bump too."
Yep.
Chadwick says, "Bruh, didn't you see them mobbing?" Callahan says that's better than the pothole because the pothole was crazy.
Yeah, the pothole was breaking rear end suspension components, and the dip was breaking front end suspension components.
And like, you just can't win right now.
So yeah, pick
choices.
Pick your poison on that one.
Yeah. All right, so don't manji the straight. Talk about that.
Yeah,
because you said that during the meeting as well too.
Yeah, it was a very big thing that we prefaced, and it's always been a big thing that comes from Spirit. I'm gonna bring up Spirit a lot in this, and I feel kind of ironic having this above my head. It was already there, so I just wasn't gonna take it down. But I'm gonna preface by saying, like I said in the beginning, it was an awful thing that happened with that track. Everybody has their own opinion, but at the end of the day, some great things did come out of that.
Sure.
And one of those great things is don't manji the straight.
Okay.
Don't manji the straight. It's very cool to see to do all the smoke and kind of go back and forth. I mean, I sit in my office chair all day long and go like this, so I get it. It feels very cool in the car. But for drifting in itself, that in big entries specifically, manjiing the straight doesn't make you. It makes you drive slower. It gives you less control. It burns your tires out faster. I'm not rich. I know a lot of the other drifters that I drive with aren't rich. I don't have a stack of brand new tires in my shed. Chris Keithley, that like some people. So at the end of the day, like it's just not a safe thing to do. It's not really cool doing it every single lap or even just at all. You scrub a lot of speed for it. I mean, the whole point of big entry is you are supposed to flick your car the opposite way to the inside wall to load up your suspension to allow you to flick back the other way and carry that momentum and speed all the way around the big entry and throughout the track. And manjiing the straight just kills that. It's unsafe. And it's just not this is going to be very like controversial, but if you want to do that, just like you go to a takeover, go to a big like open lot where you can do that safely.
Takeovers are not doing manjis. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you're just if you're doing it to have fun, then I guess good on you. But at the end of the day, it's not a safe practice, and I don't think it's a good habit to have. It's a lot.
But
cleaner.
isn't the manji part of the Japanese style though? Isn't that where that came from?
Correct. It is a part of the Japanese style, but for the track that we are at and for the style of driving, we're hot lapping. So you have 10 cars on track at a time. You've got 10 to 15 cars on track at a time. You can't tandem with somebody that is manjiing down the straight number one because it makes them unpredictable. And I don't care how good of a driver you are, how good your car is set up. it makes it very unpredictable. You could blow DB to tire, you could slam into the inside wall, slam into the outside wall. You could, like myself, I don't, and I'm sure people have noticed this, I don't drive with gloves. Because every time I've driven with gloves, my thumb gets caught in the steering wheel, my finger gets caught in the steering wheel. It's just not a good thing for me. I don't know why. I want it to be.
Yes.
But it's just not a good thing for me. And managing the straight, I mean, just like Brandon's saying right now, it's the dip on the straight. It loads the car a lot. It is much cleaner, and you will go faster and drive harder and more aggressive if you load up that suspension the opposite way to sling you back the other way. And if you want to do wall rides, I can't remember his name because my brain is going 1,000-mile-an-hour, but the video you posted of
that's Marquise.
Yep, Marquise doing, a lot of people will call that a crash. I don't call that a crash. I call that a very clean wall ride that he just at the end didn't catch. But if he would have caught that would have been the highlight reel of my day right there. That was a very clean wall ride. He went for it, and that was like his first or second lap out. And so, that's also another thing with Richmond that I really like is, you really can push yourself to the limit out there in a safe way. And mangying the straight is just not a good way to push your
well
limit.
I like Callahan's idea. Don't mangy the straight should be the tech sticker.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the giveaway shirts to all the drivers put it through their head. Like that was one of the reasons I think we put that on there was like, hey, you're getting a free shirt that says don't mangy the straight.
Don't do it. Chadwick says, no shredded tires, save your tires, no blowouts.
Yep.
You said what Brandon said. It's the dip on the straight that loads the car.
Yep.
Unc said smack the guardrail. We had a couple of that. I think we had like 3 or 4 people found the guardrail.
Yeah.
And Patrick says the mangy is slow, fast is fun.
Exactly.
The guardrail is interesting because I remember one of the times I was there, I was in between the guardrail and the fence for a bit. Now I wasn't where everybody was wiping out. I was down a little bit further because I had to feel like it's physics.
Yeah.
So it was interesting because then that tells me that there's a thought process that probably has to happen at a certain point so that you don't land or slide, I should say, even because I think one of the things some people who don't drift don't understand is something can break on the car that will not allow you to allow the vehicle to turn because the vehicle won't want to because it can't.
Correct.
So sometimes that's what happens is you lose something and you're like, all right, we're here now, and you're going to head towards whatever you're heading towards.
Yeah, no, you brought up a perfect point, and it goes back to Corbin. Like I said, in the morning, Corbin was throwing backy after backy. Later on, I had actually talked to Corbin and found out that he actually, like I said, he said he wasn't trying to throw backies. There was something going on with his B knuckles that was not, the car was not reacting the way that it had been in the past.
Okay.
So he wasn't meaning to do it. And so the guardrail definitely claimed a few victims. I think thanks to Ricky, the guardrail has been named Nismo guardrail because he unfortunately did go straight into it. There was a couple of people that went straight into it. Luckily, there wasn't that much. I mean, even Ricky's car, when I was behind him on track, it was my first time being on track that whole entire day. And I come down the straight and I just see the back end of his car and the front end of his car. From my depth perception, I was like, oh, the whole front of his car has got to be smashed all the way in. I mean, there's no way. And I got up there.
It was the one you guys towed off, right?
Yes. And whoever built that bash bar for Ricky's car, I want 5 of them. I will only need 1 because that bash bar saved him. That bash bar was amazing. That car came away a lot better than I thought it did. Than I thought it was. That bash bar, he hit so hard that it knocked out his rear taillight. And it didn't really do any damage to the front of the car because of the back bar. RIP Nismo bumper, which is why we call it Nismo guardrail now. RIP to the Nismo bumper. But the guardrail actually used to be a tire wall back in the Spirit days. used to be a big tire wall. My Miata, when I first started driving, I'll never forget. I was in the car with, I don't remember who it was, and I'm probably not going to throw them out there, but they told me to do something differently when I was coming down the straight, and I tried their way, and it ended up me understeering headfirst into the tire wall before the guardrail was there.
Okay.
And back then, when it was a tire wall, you would just bounce off the tire wall. You know, you had 3 layers of tires right there. It was a lot of a cleaner hit. It still felt like you hit a brick wall at 100 miles an hour, but it didn't damage the car as much. The guardrail originally, when they actually put that guardrail in, was during the Spirit Days. And not a lot of people know this, but when they went to put the guardrail in, they actually were going to put the guardrail in basically right where the sausage hump is, which would have put it right in the middle of the track.
Right.
Joe and some other people that were running Spirit actually were the ones that convinced Richmond to put it where it is today, because if they hadn't, we wouldn't have a track, because it would have been,
it'd be too short.
It'd be right there.
Yeah.
So we were hoping that we would be able to recreate the tire wall. Unfortunately, there was some bad blood with tires being left when Spirit disappeared, and so Richmond did not feel comfortable with us putting tires out there to keep and have that tire wall out there 24/7, because apparently they found tires all the way on the other side of the property that weren't supposed to be there when he left. They found he left all the tires. I mean, you're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Oh, wow.
So not comfortable with leaving tires there. Totally understand. And I think that even then, you know, the victims that did get caught by the guardrail were not damaged as much as I would have thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Timu Skids, the layout makes you drive your car to the fullest commitment. Crump said Tacoma was spinning tires trying to tow the Z. What?
Toe, I think he meant.
Oh, like, I don't know what we're talking about. Chadwick says B course is classic. Jack, Tyler, and Nick was another level. Jack is a legend. Tyler needs to come back.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Nick Evvesser, who was out there in the black 240 that was also throwing Team Sabotage. Yep. Nick.
It's funny. I came across them randomly in the wild, but it was Trash Panda, White Trash Panda, JB, whichever that one is.
JB. Yeah.
I live in Bealton, Virginia, and I was getting ready to head to, I think it was DOD last year, or no, it was Final Bout. It was Final Bout last year. And I was thinking DOD the year before, but I think it was Final Bout last year. And I was like, that looks like a drift car in a trailer. And me being me, I'm like, I'm going to take video for social media. And I'm like stalking people at the Sheetz gas station, because I waited for somebody to come back because I was going to say hi to them, because I had a feeling they were going to the same place I was. And I am weird, and I understand that I'm weird. I own it. And I ended up tracking them down eventually while I was there, just to kind of say hi. Mm-hmm. But it's just so funny because it's not something I get to see every day, but when I see it, I see it. You know, I'm like, that's my person. I guarantee you that's my people.
Yeah, no, 100%. Team Sabotage, near and dear to my heart, near and dear to all of our hearts. Jack, Tyler, JB, Nick, Albert, love them all to death. I drove with them a lot back in the Spirit Days. Funny enough, back in the Spirit Days, Jack had his white Miata back then, which he made knuckles for and sold those knuckles to other people. And I ran Jack's knuckles back in the day. They're still the best knuckles that I've ever had on a car. I mean, your 90-degree turns, I could sit there and do a circle in my Miata, no problem.
Right.
You know, Jack is one of the best drivers out there. Albert is one of the best drivers out there.
Albert was the person that I met. That's who I met.
Yep. Albert was a big hand in Spirit. One of my instructors when I was in the novice clinics. Tyler as well, love him to death. I really hope he comes back. I really hope he comes back to drive our events or any event for that matter. We were really hoping to have most of Sabotage at this event. It didn't work out that way, not on our end, and not on their end. Just, life happens and we totally understand.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, Sabotage they're very near and dear to our hearts. And I do want to catch one of the comments that I'm seeing on the Instagram live.
There's several,
about Andy joining. First of all, hi Andy, love you. Second of all, You say you put the tires on the far side of the property. And then Schwanky says, well, then it's your fault. We can't leave tires there, Andy. Not Andy's fault. I will preface that. Exactly what he said. They were told to put them over there in that field. New ownership at RR Send Spirit. I want to preface this that there is new ownership of Richmond International Raceway between Spirit and between now.
Okay.
Richmond International Raceway is owned by NASCAR now. So there's a lot of new rules. There's a lot of new regulations, and the way that Spirit ended the work, and that's what I feel really bad about. I think the most, just for them, is like the workers, Albert, Nick, Andy, everybody that was involved and actually worked directly for Spirit. They had no control over what happened after what Joe did. They weren't allowed back under the track. It wasn't like that. Richmond Raceway was very happy to open arms to let any of the workers back in. They really did catch the bad end of that, and basically all of sabotage. They really did catch a lot of heat that they didn't deserve. Andy is still holding it down to this day. He's a recent new dad, so shout out Andy. His baby is a clone of him. Almost made in a lab. I don't understand how. But no, Andy's an OG. I call him my drift dad. Like Andy's the man. And nobody that worked directly with Spirit deserves any of the heat, because they had no control over what was going on at the end.
So tell us about, I want you to tell me more about Memas Garage in a minute, but let's talk about what the year looks like for you guys with this particular event. Cause I think you said you're planning for training for once a month.
Yeah. So we're still, I want to preface this, and I probably a bunch of people that are on here are hoping that I'm going to drop an event date, or that we're going to drop an event date on this live. Trust me, I want to, but we are planning on doing 12 to 15 events at Richmond Raceway this year. That's been very well communicated with the track. It's been very well received by the track. That is the plan. That is what we want to do. We want to bring regular monthly drifting back to Richmond Raceway, in the best way that we know possible. And they have done, shout out Jessica, the Richmond Raceway event director. She is one of the best people that I've worked with. She's been very understanding. I've tried to help her in every way possible and work with her in every way possible. She's probably tired of me at this point. But she's the best. And, she likes to say my ass kissing skills are on point. But I just keep I just keep reminding her that it's the truth. It's not ass kissing. But the plan is 12 to 15 events this year. Obviously with 12 to 15, obviously there's going to be some months where we have 2 events. There's going to be maybe some months where we have 3 events. I'm hoping, but there will definitely be at least 1 event every month this year. Novice clinics will be a part of that. We're going to bring back as many of the OG instructors and drivers that I learned from that want to come back and do it. They're more than welcome to come back and do it. Novice clinics are going to be a huge part of that. Practice days are going to be a huge part of that. I'd like, and hopefully this isn't controversial, and I know we've talked a little bit about it, but at some point I'd like to try to bring SSS back and have somewhat of a little competition or tournament going on. There's drivers out there like Alex in the black BMW that was out there on Saturday. This kid showed up. We did ABC class in the mornings, and we were planning on doing it all day, but we just opened track because it just flowed so much better with the amount of drivers and spectators and everything that we had going on. But Alex showed up, and we were teching his car, me and Brandon, and we were asking drivers, like, what's your skill level? Where do you feel comfortable? A is kind of advanced, B is kind of intermediate, and C is kind of novice. And he looked at us dead in the face and was like, I've driven sim for years, but this is my first drift event. I've never drifted before. So,
he did pretty good then for never drifting before.
Holy,
you could tell he needed to be in C group, but he actually did really well for it being his first then.
We did 1 C group session with him, and Ridge went out there and instructed him on best practices and what to do.
Okay.
And by the end of the day, when we were doing open hot laps, he was out there hot lapping with the best of them. He went from spinning in circles in the morning a little bit, trying to get his feet wet and figure out what he was supposed to do, to linking the track by the end of the day. He was amazing. I personally shot him a message just thanking him for coming, number one, but also saying like, dude, your progression is unmatched. You know, it was normal back in the day to see that. It was normal back in the day to see somebody go from spinning in a circle on the big entry to consistently, you know, running the track all day long. And he was picture perfect as far as that goes. I mean, huge shout out to him. He was fantastic.
We were talking about sim driving while we were waiting for the drivers meeting to start. I was talking to Zach Teal Miata.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the gentleman with the other I'll call it the spicy Miata, the black one with the purple and pink and stuff
Star
on
slides,
it.
Yep.
So we were talking to them and they were talking about the sim because Spicy Miata was talking about the fact that he plays online very often. He does the sim online very often. I have tried the sim. Now, I have not physically drifted, right? So my background is unfortunately illegal street racing in my 20s, but I can hold, I know, I own it. Thankfully, there were no cameras. We're going to put it that way. And so I don't mind doing this sim thing, right? We're at Grid Life. They have them set up. And I was like, I was so unimpressed with the process. And I really expected to be like, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be difficult. And I'm like, is this it? Like, because this wasn't what I was expecting. Like, I was expecting something. Like, I was expecting an experience. But Zach kind of felt the same way I did. Is I think depending on how you learn, your learning comes from feeling the car. So feeling the car is what I want, and you get some of that depending on how the sim is set up, to be
Correct.
clear.
Yep.
And then because we weren't in a fancy one that's like doing the whole, you know, like zero gravity thing. But yeah, I could see where it would be beneficial, I suppose, if you've never driven or maybe you've only you drive to and from work. I did not find it exciting. I didn't find it something I wanted to do every day. And you guys all seem to be really excited about it.
So 100%. And I want to preface this, and you should clip this if you're going to clip anything. I am not the best driver out there. I am not, I to be honest with you, in my eyes, I am not even deserving to be an A group, which is why I did not drive an A group. And even at our own event, I am not one of the best drivers out there. But as somebody that came through novice clinics and things like that, I did have a simulator when Spirit was around and I first started driving. And it depends on how your sim is set up. But I have seen Jacob Duncan. Let's name drop one of the best drivers in our area. He was a sim kid. He started on the simulator and look where he is now. You know, simulator was actually,
I think that's my point though. So he started with it early enough, even into just driving in general.
Yeah.
And I see it sometimes too with kids that get to have dirt bikes and four-wheelers and things that they can drive at age 5, 6, 7. They get to have a different sense of balance and sensation when it comes to those things because they learn them so young. That I still think it's kind of the same thing. I think it correlates. So I get it.
Yeah, it's all muscle memory, to be honest. And also, we can go through the comments because I think that's where you were going to go. But I got a text from Chris.
So you're fine.
I got a text from Chris saying I need to fix my smoke detector. I have a talking parrot that likes to. He's a rescue and he mimics smoke detectors for some reason.
That's a parrot?
Yes, that's a parrot. So it's not my smoke detector. I know you see the smoke detector right here. I swear on my mother's life, it is not my smoke detector. He does it when he knows I'm on the phone or he knows that I'm like doing something that people can hear. It's not my smoke detector. I promise. I live in the East End. I get it. It might be a thing, but not at my house. That's got a fresh battery in it. We just actually redid that. So thanks, Chris, for throwing me out there like that. Thank you for not putting it in the chat. I'm going to throw myself out there because if you're hearing it and they're hearing it, it's not my smoke detector. If you want to come to my house and check it, come check it. But I have an African gray Congo in the other room. His favorite word is shit. And I didn't have him. His cage is right here, but I don't have him in there because I wouldn't have gotten a word in this whole entire time if he was in here. So just want to clear the air on that. I'll go get him if I have to prove, but no, it's not. It's not my smoke detector. Makes my blood boil for some reason. I'm like, no.
I thought you had a carbon monoxide detector because that's the common thing that usually beeps.
Nope. Just a talking parrot whose favorite word is shit. I promise. That's what it is.
Callahan, I'm with you. Yes, at least the bird isn't screaming.
Exactly. Quietest bird species, large bird species ever, but can speak full sentences and loves to sound like a smoke detector.
That's so funny.
Mm.
So the common consensus is Alex was killing it, and Ridge was I'm assuming Memas Garage is Ridge.
Yes.
Okay. Alex's first event, I was so proud of him. And Callahan said that's progression. Patrick, I'm not doing that online. That's an in-person conversation, sir. He said, tell us more about the street racing. Kelly said, I couldn't do sim at first, but now I use it all the time, and it's all about seat time, sim or in real life. I could see it, I guess. I don't know.
Sim translate. It's muscle memory. That's what it comes back to.
I get that part, but it was easy is what I think the problem I had with it.
Correct.
So I expected it to be difficult, which I think is why my brain is having a hard time with it. Like, I guess if it were fun for the sake of fun, okay, but I think because it wasn't difficult, and that's probably how they had the sim set up, was to make it appealing to everyone. But because it wasn't difficult, I didn't understand the appeal, I guess.
Yeah.
So PSA, anybody with a ridiculous sim that I can try out, we'll do a whole like social media video, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we'll trade here because I want it to be difficult, apparently.
We can make that happen.
Feels wrong.
We can make that happen. I'll turn the force feedback through the roof, and we'll make it happen.
Deal. All right. So, hang on. I have more stuff to catch up on here. Bring the bird as a guest. Go get the bird. Go get the bird. I'm going to go through these. Go get the bird. Right. Let's see. Chadwick said low power equals progression, track days, practice sessions, special love seeing Alex progress all day. I love that. Rocco apparently is the bird's name. Hi, Capital Merman. Miss you. Let's see. Kelly says you're a driver. I don't know. I get in, and thankfully I haven't harmed myself. Does anyone have Richmond on? Oh, that's a good question, Chadwick. And Shwesky says, yes, Chadwick. Damien made it years ago. Okay, they're talking about, hi, Bird.
The one time he doesn't want to get on my shoulder for some reason. I don't know what the deal with that is, but
did he leave you? Oh, there he is.
Yep. Yep.
Hi.
No, microphone. Do you want to say something?
It's okay.
You got to say something.
Say hello?
You got to say something because people are going to think that I'm lying about the whole talking thing.
We need to believe your dad, so work with us.
Rocco. Say something, please. All right. Yeah.
Did you say his favorite word was shit?
Yes. Yeah. Look, come on, buddy. Yeah. He
just wants to be included. Just bring him drifting next time. He'll be fine.
Yeah. And there's a laugh. There's a little bit of a laugh. I don't know if you heard that part, but yeah, he's a character. So funny story actually regarding Rocco. He does speak full sentences. He's not going to do it right now because then he would just be proving me right. And he's
sure.
He's not going to do that.
It's like any pet.
yeah. He's definitely not going to do that. But Mema, for some background, and we'll talk about it a little bit more if you ask me about Memas Garage. But Mema is 97 years old, and okay. Mema, that is one badass woman right there. I mean, she's 97 years old. She's kicking and moving. I'd say Mema does the cha-cha. She is one of the best beautiful human beings I've ever met. And Mema loves Rocco. She's never met Rocco. She's never had Rocco in person, but thanks, buddy. She loves Rocco, and only because he talks. So Rocco has this thing when I get on the phone for whatever reason, and he knows when I'm faking a phone call, which I don't even know how that's possible. But he likes to say hello, and then he likes to say hang up. So every time Ridge is on the phone with me and Meemaw's around, Meemaw will ask for Rocco, and Rocco will talk through the phone. And most of the time it's shut up, shit, or hang up, or hello. or just gibberish, because he does have that gibberish side to him. But yeah, Rocco is Meemaw is very near and dear to Rocco, and when
That's
it
so
gets
funny. I hope to be Meemaw one day.
yeah,
You know.
me too. Me too.
she
I don't
she sounds like my kind of lady.
I don't know if you got a chance to go by the Meemaw's garage booth at the event, but we did have a picture of
I
Meemaw.
did.
We had a picture of Meemaw in the drift car at the booth, and
Okay.
that was beautiful. So yeah, Meemaw's near and dear to all of us.
One of the comments in the chat was Chadwick had asked if does anyone have Richmond on sim, and Patrick said Damien made it years ago. And then all the comments, apparently you need to teach him don't manji the straight.
Yeah, we're working on that. He doesn't like to say what I tell him to say. He just likes to say things that he hears throughout the day. Yeah, it's
that's fair. That's fair. Kelly said Meemaw's the best. All right. So we have talked about the event. We have talked about things that should be coming and on the horizon. Tell us about Memas Garage.
All right. Let me put him.
Okay.
Come on, dude.
Thank you, Rocco, for the entertainment.
Yeah, that's the other thing about Rocco. He does not like going back in his cage, and he's going to start talking ridiculously now. So if he be a problem, then I can remove. But so Memas Garage, and I want to preface this too with saying Memas Garage and Yokai Kaizen are two
separate entities.
Sorry, I'm getting talked over here already. But there's a laugh. Memas Garage. You know what? Let's just nip this in the bud real quick. Give me 1 second here.
We ruined a whole live with Rocco. Love it.
Yeah, Rocco is he's trying to steal the show. Everybody say bye, Rocco. Bye, Rocco.
Bye, Rocco.
Yeah, he's we're done with that, bud. You can come in here and talk all you want.
Oh, that was great. We now need t-shirts with Rocco on them that say don't manji the straight. Oh, can we put him in a car? My brain is now working on like everything possible.
There's been thoughts. There's been plans. None have come to fruition yet, but yeah, there has been plans. Now I'm the crazy bird guy on Instagram, so this is great. But yeah, so leading into Memas Garage, God, it sucks, but it's beautiful at the same time because all roads for me at least lead back to Spirit because that's just where it all started for me. But Memas Garage has been around for a really long time. A lot of people remember Wolf Clan Garage back in the day. They were a steady vendor at Spirit events. He was there a lot, and Memas Garage was around just as long, if not longer. And Ridge started Memas Garage because, well, I mean, it was out of Memas Garage. You know, he's got a lift and at the time had a tire machine and everything else in Memas Garage. And for the longest time when I first met Ridge, that was our spot. I mean, I worked on the Miata there. He worked on his drift cars there. He worked on his show cars there. He painted there for a while. And we're talking like in a suburban neighborhood, not anywhere,
sure.
Like, secluded. And that was our only spot back in the day. And sorry, Ridge, if I throw you out there a little bit on any of this, but, we, originally when Wolf Clan was around, a lot of us drove for him, and it was a great time. And then when Spirit kind of ended, a lot of that stuff kind of started to go away. And, Ridge really wanted to take Memas Garage to the next level. And it kind of all just came together really, really just like Yokai, it really came together really naturally. Back then I had the Miata and we were planning on painting the Miata orange and creating that into the Memas Garage side. And I believe, I could be wrong, I think I did have, no, maybe I did. I don't think I had the lettering on the car yet. But back in the day, I ended up getting the G35. Ridge was a huge help in getting the G35. I was ready to go from a low power car to another low power car with a little bit more power. And Ridge helped me out with that a lot in finding the G35. He was actually the one that I had actually passed it and he had sent it back to me. And then that's the one I end up having now. Ridge painted that car. He painted Chris's car, Chris Keithley's car, the S14, S15 front. He painted his last car, RIP. That thing is a tin can in the woods at this point, but man, did it rip when he had it. And Memas Garage kind of came together beautifully. And the reason that I say that is like, we all just started driving together. We hung out together. It was really the only thing I had after Spirit that really carried that like vibe and that like family mentality. We look out for each other. In the beginning, it was just me, Ridge, Chris, and that was it. And then Garrett came along, the one in the silver BMW that was out there this past weekend or yesterday. And now it's a 4-person team. In my heart, I say it's a 5-person team, and Brandon might punch me in the face for saying this next time he sees me. But Brandon, I think, is a subsidiary of Memas Garage, even though his car's not orange and he doesn't want to paint it orange. But we've always driven with him, and Brandon is a huge part of Memas Garage. He's helped me in countless ways. Ridge has helped me in countless ways. We've helped Ridge in countless ways. I mean, we really just started helping each other out. Ridge brought a property out there and has a shop now, and he's done great things with it. That's our home base. That's where we run Yokai out of. That's where we run Memas Garage out of. You'll catch Meemaw hanging out in the shop out there in her chair, moving and grooving, watching Impractical Jokers and hanging out with us while we're building cars. She's terrified when we put cars on the lift, but I keep telling her it's okay, Meemaw. We're gonna be okay. But yeah, Memas Garage came along with that. She thinks we owe her a check for it, and we probably do at this point.
It's fair. It's fair.
But yeah, Memas Garage came together really beautifully. Every event I drive with them. We coordinate. We've always coordinated every event. Every US Drift event, every DOD. It's a habit to go to the casino when we're at DOD because it's right down the road.
So I want in on that next time because nobody told me. Like I had several friends. They're like, "Yeah, we're at the casino. You want to go?" I'm like, "Could you have told me like 2 hours ago so I could have prepared, please?"
Yeah, we had a very fun. That's a whole story in itself, but in a short form, we had a very fun time at the casino. I went in there with $25 and walked out with almost 500. Just kind of out of nowhere.
I dislike you already.
I walked up to the roulette table, and I don't know if anybody here has watched David Dobrik, but he's famous for going to Vegas and putting everything on black. Like he'll put 10 grand on black and it'll hit, and then he'll hit 20 grand. And I started out with $25, put it on black. It hit black 9 times in a row. So I had a good night that night. Chris made out really good. Brandon made out really good. Yeah, the casino was a fun time from what I can remember of it for the most part.
Well, I think it's tough. Like things like DOD are tough when we have like a long weekend because I have to get everything offloaded, then uploaded to the different spaces that it has to go to. And then like, I haven't even gone through photos from yesterday. I stayed up till 2:00 this morning to make sure all the clips went somewhere. Cause that's a whole other conversation, like trying to figure out what to do with the media, especially when you just show up for the sake of showing up. You're like, now what?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do with all of it? Cause it's a lot of information.
No, a question back for you. Oh, go ahead.
Callahan said we had to be escorted out as a group.
Doesn't surprise. If Ricky was with you, that doesn't surprise me one bit.
What was your question?
Oh, I was just going to ask you a question as far as like, like I said, Yokai, and we can go into it a little bit more. I don't know how much time you have, and I know I talk a lot, but
I do too. It's fine.
So
people are still watching. They haven't gone to bed yet. We're fine.
Yeah. So, like I said, Yokai was thrown together pretty quickly in the short meetings in the long meetings that we had in a short amount of time when we were talking about volunteers and who was going to do what. Luckily, we all really fit into our own spaces very naturally. Brandon was a very big part in Spirit back in the day and understands the track. He's been drifting for 20 plus years. And he was like, it was a no-brainer on where he would fit as far as dealing with the track and drivers and things like that. Ridge, marketing, social media, things like that. He's been great at that. And leading back to, media, the conversation came up of who do we want to run the media side of things? Who do we want to be our
Sure.
head of media? I as much as I would love to be able to do everything, yesterday was a very
Tough.
it was very good wake up call of like, I will preface this and I can post screenshots to prove it. I did 27,000 steps on Saturday, and that's equivalent to 14 miles of walking.
Yeah.
I have a bad knee, which is a story from DOD in itself too, but I have a bad
Uh-oh.
knee, and my good knee is the one that's hurting me today. So,
Oh no.
and I'm 27, so it's not like,
You're running out of knees, sir.
I'm falling out early on. Hopefully it's not a sign, but the conversation did come up multiple times of who do we want to do our media. And there were two people that kept coming up consistently. One of them being Sparks Media. I want to throw out a huge Sparks Visuals, or otherwise known as Stilinder. He was on, and I can throw his Instagram out there, and I'm sure a lot of people know him. But
I don't register that one. It doesn't mean anything because I know a lot of people. But
yeah, he's an OG. He actually just had his baby on Monday, so congratulations on that. But he was the one that created the teaser video that originally went out with 13,000 views, and he also created the promotional video that came out with about 15 or 16,000 views at this point. So all of our promotional videos in the beginning came from him. I actually had long phone calls with him about, what we were trying to do. He was on board from the minute we talked. Like I said, his name come up 1,000 times, and he has been amazing. Shout out to him. Huge, huge help. And then the second name that came up, as I said in the driver's meeting, the brother in the pink. It's not what he told me to say. Yep, Jordan. It's not what he told me to say. I'm not going to repeat it. But
I love Jordan.
Jordan's name came up consistently, and it was an absolute no-brainer. Jordan's personality is infectious. He is amazing with people. He's amazing at what he does. He puts out amazing quality media. And when we reached out to him originally, he was on board from the minute and was with us through the trials and tribulations. There was a lot going on for a long period of time where I just couldn't keep up with keeping everybody in the loop, except for just the very, real core. And Jordan was there 100% of the time. And when he really, no fault to him whatsoever, and maybe on fault on my part, but he showed up on Saturday not really knowing what to expect, and he handled it beautifully.
I mean, Jordan's an OG to photography just in general, and I think some people do very well with certain things, and they're built for certain things, and he has the personality. He's so likable. He's genuinely likable.
He is.
And because he just seems like I don't know him well, so I'm not going to pretend that I do, but from my interactions with him, he's a mess of an entertainer, but he's very polished and very put together, and he knows what he's doing. So
God forbid anybody ever tries to contain Jordan's personality, because that would be like handling a wet noodle. I mean, that guy, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Yes.
Jordan is.
We had a whole conversation about food, Chadwick, myself, and Jordan, about traveling and the tracks that we traveled to and the food that was there, and that they like going to that particular track because there's a sandwich or a kitchen sink or something. I don't know. There was a lot happening.
Yeah. No, Jordan he's a beautiful human being, and I am so thankful that he's on board with us, and he did a fantastic job. I mean, like I said, everything came together very quickly, and Jordan was a huge part in that. Sparks was a huge part in that, and media, I think, was run very beautifully, and I hope every media person that attended had a fantastic time, because I know we did, and I know the drivers did, and I know the spectators did, and I hope the media got everything that they wanted and more.
Yeah, I will say, when I was the only other time that I had been to Richmond, I didn't actually go out on track because I wasn't sure if I'd get stuck. That's always my biggest concern, is getting stuck sometimes, because it's one of the drawbacks sometimes with the way Summit Point is set up, especially if we're on Shenandoah, like on the bridge section. You get out there, man, you're not getting off for a hot minute depending on what's going on. But I talked to Jordan about that even before we did the meeting. I will say I like the fact that you guys did a track walk with the drivers. He did a separate track walk. I had to go back and get my gear, so I missed it. But Jordan's not a you have a dumb question person. He's just like, you got a question. All right, here's the answer. You need help. I'll take you over there. We'll do it together, which I appreciate.
Yeah, no, Jordan did that completely on his own. He knows what to do. He
Yeah,
knows the process. He knows how to keep
exactly.
his media people. His media people are his family just as much as the drivers and the track operators and everybody else. He makes sure everybody is safe, but also makes sure everybody has a good time. And he did that 100% on his own. So
Yeah. Let's see. I lost. Oh, Patrick said everyone likes Jordan. Callahan said the media turnout was insane. That alone speaks words for YK. Chadwick, yes, the sandwich is the Belgian waffle at Lake Erie Speedway. It's to die for, apparently. And then somewhere there is a barbecue place that had something called the kitchen sink, which is just a bunch of stuff tossed into it, apparently. I don't know.
I want to say it's Mama's Barbecue, but somebody can correct me if I'm
It
wrong.
is.
Okay,
Yeah. I didn't remember what it was, but that's what it was. It was a barbecue place of some sort, was all I could remember.
Yeah, Mama's Barbecue was a staple of Spirit back in the day. They were at every single
event. That's why they were talking about it.
Yep.
That's why they were talking about it.
Yeah, Boca Taco, also owned by the same guy that owns the barbecue, Mama's Barbecue, and that was a staple.
So apparently they wanted Mama's Barbecue back. So I don't know if they're still out there, but apparently that is the request. Now, in one of the videos, I tagged the grillers that were at DOD because they're a whole vibe as well. I don't know where they're located, but I tagged them because I like, can we have there too? Because at least they're entertaining too, man.
Yeah.
Because they're throwing hot dogs at people and like it was ridiculous, but it was fun.
Hey, I mean, I will say and I'll be open about this, one of the stipulations with NASCAR owning Richmond Raceway, now the food vendor situation has changed a little bit to where they have to be partnered.
They have to choose
NASCAR.
Okay.
That being said, that is something that I am currently working on to try to get some things going on that. So more to come there, hopefully. But yeah, no, I still think about the kitchen sink, and I still think about they used to do like a Chipotle salad type bowl, and I still can taste it to this day. It was like a staple for me.
Yeah, Chadwick said Holland Butts brisket, baby.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, no, I'd love to have him back out there. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, that's right, Callahan. The girls could do the lemonade thing too.
Yep.
That would definitely be another option as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was great for the fact that it was the first one. I think you had a decent spectator turnout for being such a quick thing as well.
Yeah, over 200 spectators. So that was amazing. I did not expect. We ordered 200 spectator bracelets and we ran out, which was not expected whatsoever.
Sure.
It poured down rain. Somebody probably saw me cussing and screaming and kicking some stuff because I was like, this is horrible. But the weather turned out and it was
fine.
Yeah, it was great in the afternoon.
I love the fact that you say it was pouring down rain, because it wasn't. It was raining.
Well, to me, in the heat of the moment, I'm like, it's raining fire right now. I don't care. RIP Ricky's car for that one, because I was like, this is bad. Yeah, to me, it might as well have been raining acid. I was freaking out. I mean, it was
the weekend before, it rained the entire day. Like we knew going into it that it was going to rain the whole day. We got a little bit of a break here or there, but I had full rain gear in the car. Like, I was prepared for whatever the weather threw at us in some way, shape, or form. I was like, we're outside. We're doing the thing. It's cold. It sucks for a hot minute. We got the sun at the end of the day. It actually wasn't bad when it was about time to go home.
Not even the end of the day, really. It was like 1:30, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, maybe at the latest. And the rest of the day was just beautiful weather. So yeah, I mean, Danny just said 4 p.m. was the primo weather. Yeah. No, Danny. Yeah, you're 100% right on that. I mean, and that goes back to, everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. The whole reason this event was able to go off was because everything happens for a reason. I can't, the whole process is a story in itself as well. And it was a lot of, I think my chest hurt for a straight 3 months when we started to get to the real nitty gritty part of what was going to
Sure.
happen.
Starting to come into reality.
Yeah, I mean the rain part, that was a meeting just about that, about getting umbrellas for people if that was to happen in a really awful
Sure.
way. But we had a group chat going, obviously, between just the core members of the company, and my chest hurt. There was constant texts of like, my chest hurts, I'm having heart palpitations, my palms have been sweating all day, waiting on answers for things when it comes to the track, insurance, drivers, spectators, media. I mean, it was every part of it. I would be lying if I said that every part of it wasn't stressful. It was the most stressful thing that I think I've ever done, ever, but I would do it 3 times over to feel the way that I felt, and I know the way that the drivers felt, and hopefully the media and spectators felt, to do it all over again. I mean, it was surreal.
Yeah. No, that's
Completely.
awesome. Well, I mean, it definitely seemed like it was successful. I didn't hear any complaints, which is always a nice thing, because I have a tendency, I get a lot of feedback in the background, like after things happen. And so sometimes it's a blessing and a curse, because I don't necessarily mind being the problem child for the uncomfortable topic. Kind of like the fact that, probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. The fact that, it's not okay for me to do my social media a certain way, but the hypocrisy and the fact that they support others that do the same thing, they're just in bigger spaces. I find it very interesting, some of the dynamic, because I'm not really, and I don't necessarily do things any differently than some of the bigger spaces do, but apparently if you do them locally, it's a problem. But if you do them on a grand scale where everybody throws money at you, it's fine.
No, and that's true for media. That's true for drivers as well. There was only, I'm happy to say, there was over 35 media people that were at the event. 35 media applications came in. Or 36 media applications came in, and the only one, everyone got an approval, and the only one that didn't, I wouldn't even call it a denial, but the only one I had to turn away was a drone pilot, just because in the time of that everything happened, due to Richmond being owned by a NASCAR track, there's a whole slew of paperwork and things that have to be done in order to have drones out there, that just was impossible to get done in that time frame. So he actually did still come out, I believe, and had a great time, and I told him he should anyway. But that was the only thing that I had to turn away, and that was something that I also double checked on multiple times before turning away. But over 35 media people, and 25 plus drivers, and it was just, everything happens for a reason. We are unbelievably thankful that people came out. I know in the process and the way that things turned out, there was a lot of uncertainty because of the time frame. We threw out a teaser, it blew up. We threw out a promo video with a date, it blew up. And then I think it was like a month before we were able to throw out registration for the event. That was not planned. That was not on purpose. If there was a roadblock to hit in getting this started, we've hit it probably 2 or 3 times. And there was a lot of things that we had to overcome, and it was the fact that everybody showed up and showed out was just, it made all of it worth it 100 times over.
Danny said there was so much joy, quite a few new people showed up, and you got 2 DC folks. End of day, saw the flyer at Banditos, and now want to move to RVA and buy a drift car.
Hey, very, very real and loud and proud shout out for Danny. She put in the work. We printed out flyers. I say Ryan Crump, he printed out flyers, and we were all kind of like, well, Instagram, social media, that's the way to go. Like, real flyers, like, I don't know.
Real flyers get you the people that don't do social media, like the 20 and 30 somethings.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Ryan out there, and hopefully nobody's watching that works with Ryan. But like Ryan used his work printer to print out over probably 200 flyers. Ryan and Danny put in the work. Danny was sending me photos and updates of. She went all through Richmond. I don't think there was a street she didn't walk down, and a building she passed that she didn't put flyers up in. Like she said, people were seeing it in bathrooms of bars, people were seeing it in hotels, people were seeing it in smoke shops, people were seeing it at tire shops, people were seeing it at advanced auto parts. I mean, there was not a building, I think, in Richmond that didn't. I worked for a dealership, and I sell cars, and that's my full-time job. And I had service writers and car salespeople and people that I don't work with anymore, but worked with in the past, that reached out to me, sending me a picture of my flyer and being like, "Is this yours? Like, what's the deal with this?" And I'm like, "How did you get that? Like, where did you even?" They're not drifters. They know nothing about drifting, and they found it. And so, huge shout out to Danny. Huge shout out to Ryan Crump. I know there's people I'm forgetting, but like
I briefly met Danny when I was talking to Mason, because I had a little Instax camera with me, so I went over to take a couple of instant photos, and Danny came up, and she is a personality, she is a vibe that is all hers, and we didn't realize we had come across each other like online briefly, and she realized it today. And I'm just like, oh, okay, now we're on the same page. Like, it's a small world.
Yeah, no, Danny is a beautiful person. When she left, we were talking to all the drivers. We were standing in a big group, and when she left, she started bawling. And there was a couple of people that started bawling when it was time to go. And Danny was the first person to make me tear up. I will say too, I'll throw myself out there, and I've told Ridge and Brandon this and everybody this, but come on now. I got a dog behind me too. I think this morning I was on. So my dad, and I'm not going to get emotional here. I promise I wouldn't get emotional, period. But my dad is a huge part of my life. My mom is a huge part of my life. They are separated, but my mom lives in Virginia, right down the road from us. And then my dad actually lived 5.5 hours to Tennessee. And my dad is one of those people that when I started drifting, he's like, "I don't get it. You're just wasting money. You're wasting tires. I don't understand it. Is it a sport? Like, I don't get it." And we're talking seven years of driving now for me. And he finally understands it. And he drove 5.5 hours down from Tennessee. Not only did he drive 5.5 hours down up from Tennessee, but he brought one of my buddies in Tennessee with him to come to the event. And it really showed him like what this one means to me and also means to everybody else. It showed him how what kind of a community it is. It showed him what kind of a sport it is. He really started understanding. He used to come to Spirit events, and all he remembers is the curly-headed kid whose name is Jack, which he doesn't remember, who had the Miata. He remembers Brandon, which he calls Bam Bam Bigelow or something like that. And then
sounds like a dad nickname.
Yeah. And he drove all the way from Tennessee and came, and my mom came, and that was huge. And she's been to every drift event and huge support there. But this morning, my dad was going to drive back to Tennessee, and he asked if we wanted to have brunch. And me and the girlfriend were Savannah, who was working the front. God bless her. Huge shout out to her. Her and Aiden, they saved us in check-in. They checked in over 200 spectators, 35 plus media, 25 plus drivers. They dealt with the Train Expo people who were not the nicest people. No shade there, but they just wanted to see their trains, man. And I get it, man. Like, they just wanted to get to their trains, and I understand. So
that was what was going on in the bigger location? So, okay, I was curious as to what was happening there.
That was a whole roadblock in itself, because they had the gravel lot, and we were supposed to use the gravel lot for trucks and trailers. So that was a whole change in itself. But So Savannah, my girlfriend, Savannah and Aiden, they held it down. They had a fun time doing it. But back to, I was driving in the truck on the way to brunch this morning to go meet my dad. And I guess all the adrenaline wore off, and I guess I finally woke up, and kind of had the realization of what had just happened yesterday, and
the gravity of it.
Yeah, I started crying without even realizing I was crying, and the emotions hit all at once. And That's what I would really want to get across to everybody that was there and everybody listening and anybody that sees this, is that you have no idea how much you have improved our quality of life in 24 hours. And not only our quality of life, but, all the people that helped: Mason, Ryan, Danny, Savannah, Aiden, Garrett, CJ, the guy that was on grid sending people, not the one flagging, but the one that was in. He's from Georgia. He's never felt weather like this before in his whole entire life.
He was the one I was talking to when we were talking about Callahan.
Yeah.
CJ was the one that I was talking to. He was the one that took over, because we talked about Georgia briefly.
Yeah, CJ's from Georgia. He's a 21-year-old kid. I think he just turned 22, but he's a 21-year-old kid who came from Georgia. He came to work at my dealership. He's a technician at my work, and he came to an event one time just to watch me drive. And that man stood out there in Virginia, cold weather from 7:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night, and sent cars, kept everyone safe, and was so thankful to be a part of it. And we're so thankful to have him.
I was giving him a hard time for not having enough layers on.
Yeah, I warned him. I'm like, man, I get you're from Georgia, and he's from Augusta, so like it doesn't get like this there. And I warned him. I'm like, hey man, this is gonna be insane. Like you better wear. And he shows up in a hoodie, and I'm like, oh dude,
yes.
you don't know what you're in for. Like, he actually asked me at one point, he's like, I'm gonna run home real quick and go get more layers. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, all the volunteers, everybody that can, I'll be completely as transparent as I can possibly be. We're not in this for the money. We did not make any money off of this, believe it or not. Richmond Raceway is an expensive venue to run. And we are at the point where we are just trying to make enough to keep the culture alive and keep these events alive.
Break even.
You will see my car today, unless I hit the lottery tomorrow. You will see my car in the exact form that it is today. In a year from now, we do not take a cent out of the business. We do not take a cent out of the events. We are 100% in it to keep these going for as long as we humanly possibly can. And the people that were out there working the track, be nice to them when you see them. They're always willing to help you out. They are not being paid. There's nobody's being paid. This is a 100% voluntary thing. We are in it for the culture, not for the money. And they poor CJ, man, I hope he's at work tomorrow, because he was roughing it. And they were all roughing it, and we're so thankful for all of them.
Yeah, Unc said he was locked in. He had the stunner shades on.
Yeah. I warned him about that. Oh man.
Look, he just showed up being him. Nothing wrong with that. We don't judge here.
Everybody that has anything to do with this business is unapologetically them, and they're beautiful human beings. And,
exactly.
He's no exception.
Chadwick said, remember the 1 year Import Expo and the train show, and y'all had a huge event. Holy cow, that was crazy.
Yeah. I can't, and somebody's going to get mad at me for this. I can't remember who put out the video today where it was like the montage that started with our flag. But there was
it was Chadwick.
Chadwick, yes, yeah. He put out that video, and there was a clip in it where there was a little kid. And first of all, if anybody doesn't know, Memas Garage, one of our biggest thing is doing it for the kids. Our biggest thing when we were just a drift team and trying to drive was doing it for the kids, get kids into drifting, try to build the community as much as possible. There was a scene that he threw in there of a kid standing behind one of the gates, holding up a peace sign, smiling ear to ear. And that made me emotional the second that I saw it. I mean, that's what it's all about for us. That was a beautiful video.
Sure. Let's see. What else do we have here? Chadwick said the same thing, doing it for the kids. Yeah. And then Danny says that you're going to blow up. This is just the beginning, Bryce.
I really hope so.
CJ is a winner, and Chadwick's media is absolutely captivating.
Yeah, and I do want to preface this too. I may be the only one that's on here, but this isn't about me This isn't
Of
about
course.
Brandon. This isn't about Ridge. This isn't about Chris. This isn't
This
about
was so
anybody.
impromptu. This was so impromptu to do this. I'm like, hey, you want to do this? You're like, all right. Like that was like the whole conversation.
Yeah, no, this is not planned. None of this is planned. I've learned over the process of this that I'm a horrible planner. At least good enough to make it happen, bad enough to have some holes going through it. But yeah, none of this was planned, and none of this is about us. This is about the drivers. This is an event for the drivers, by the drivers. Sure. This is there's no way to put it into words. I mean, it's just it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, so your first event was a success, and we don't know what happens next, but we know something happens next. My go-to is I always like to say I'm just over here winging it like eyeliner. Yeah. I mean, most of my life is very much like what happened at the track. Like, you want to? All right. Okay. Like, that's most of my life. So we're all doing it the same way.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, yeah, this was all so fast, so quick. I would say it was a success just from my eyes. I think everybody else in consensus has said it's a success. The one thing I can say, I'm not going to leave everybody hanging. I know some people probably had to go to bed, so hopefully they catch this in the highlights reel. But I can't say an exact date, and I won't say an exact date. But as I've said previously, this is a monthly thing. We will be back. We will be back monthly. We will be doing it as much as we physically can. I work a full-time job. Brandon owns his own business. Chris owns his own business. Ridge owns his own business. We have poured a lot into this, and the date is coming soon. I could say that very, very soon. And we will have it to where there will be no uncertainty. There will be no waiting period. There will be none of that. We are planning on dropping the date and dropping the registration very shortly after. 35 driver cap. That's pretty much our cap as far as just space and how many people we can fit in there. Media, there will never be a cap. We're actually working on adding more media boxes based off of the hype and the amount of media that we had at this event. So there will be more media boxes. There's never a cap at that, but 35 driver cap is just what we can get away with there. We're working on extending that, and obviously novice groups will be bigger than that because we'll have more space.
Sure.
But I can't drop an exact date yet. But I'm working on it currently. We're all working on it currently. It's going to only get bigger. It's only going to get better from here. As long as we have the support from everybody, to go into it, we'll keep it going. So if everybody makes the consensus of they hate us and this is horrible, we're not having fun anymore, then we'll go away. And that's hopefully not where it's going to go. But
sure,
I can't do Valentine's Day. I can't do it.
What's funny is I'm over here reading this going, Danny's trying to get people in trouble. That's what Danny's trying to do. Because there is a woman somewhere going, nope.
Well, my girlfriend's birthday is the day before Valentine's Day, so it might be a little.
You're locked in for two.
I get double hit every year. I'm not. So, and many people don't know this too, but she was running the check-in. She was at the track with me. She woke me up at 4:30 in the morning. God rest her, or God, I almost said rest her soul.
God bless her.
She's alive. She's in the other room. I promise. No,
we see the 6 o'clock morning news.
I never stop in here at this point. No, but God bless her soul.
Bring the bird.
Yeah, the bird hates her, so that's not gonna happen. She has a broken foot. She's had a broken foot for the last 3 days. I had her on her broken foot way longer than I should have had her on a broken foot. Throughout the day, she's been dying today because of it. But yeah,
Savannah's in the chat with us.
Yeah, she had a broken foot, and I had her working all day, and I kept reminding her, "I am your boss." But I had her working all day.
I'm sure that went over well.
Not well at all. Not well at all. The couch is comfy, but. I had her working on her broken foot all day more than she should have. She was a real trooper in that, and she had a lot of fun, and it was great to have her meet all the drivers and everybody else. She remembers a lot of people from back in the day too. We've been together 6 years, so she's been with me through it all. She's been up with so let's get this out of the way too. Yes, our flyers were AI. Let's just throw that out there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Our flyers were AI. That was not planned. If like I said, the timeline was supposed to be short, then it turned long, then it went short, then it turned long. It was so back and forth. We kind of were like last minute doing things, and
Sure.
I'm not a media person. I'm not
Did
an
anybody
editor.
give you a hard time about that?
Jordan, and I'm gonna throw him out there for that. Jordan was like, get away from the AI. Yeah, get away from the AI. That was not planned. It was last resort, all I could do. But I will say, Savannah, as far as Savannah goes, like, you know, she's very good with that kind of stuff. And I had come to her and basically said, like, hey, I need your help. You don't have to. This is my circus. This is what I'm dealing with. But if you can help me, help me. And she was up. I mean, we were laying in bed together until 1:30 in the morning, making flyers, doing schedules, sending emails, doing the day passes, the laminated day passes that we brought back from Spirit that they used to do. She made those. She made the schedule. She has helped in the back end processes of that in every step of the way. There's been many sleepless nights. She works, if anybody didn't know, but she works for Richmond Animal Control. So she's in animal welfare, and she does a ton for Richmond and the community in the animal space. And she works 6:30 in the morning until whenever she can get out of that building at night. And she stayed up with me and took it on just as much as I did. So,
remember that for her birthday and Valentine's Day.
yeah. I definitely, I owe her a lot. There was a lot of days where I didn't eat because I didn't have time, and she fed me. I mean, there's more and more, like I said, I'm going on a little bit of a soapbox for her just because we spend every waking moment together. And I love every minute of it, but she stepped up in a big way when she really didn't have to. This was something that I started. You know, let's get the elephant out of the room. We're getting towards the end here. I'm feeling a little loose. You know, there was some people, I'm not going to name names, that were not happy about this. And my response to that, and my response will always be, we're in this together. No shame, no hate. If we could work together. I talked to Jason Richardson for a long time. Shout out Jason. Working with him, US Drift, every event and every organization out there. We love you guys. We've invested in every single one of you. We've been to every event. This is something that we want to collaborate with people on, other event organizers. This is something that all we're trying to do at the end of the day is bring more to drifting, bring more people in, bring a family oriented vibe in, and not saying that anybody else wasn't doing that, not saying that there was something missing in drifting. It's really just to say that, I don't think there could ever be enough. And I think we proved that this weekend. You know, you got two events going on the same day, 30 minutes apart, and it still wasn't enough. There's so much love and so much community and so much that can go into this. And I think that, drifting doesn't have to be split any which way. There's never enough, and we love we love everybody out there. And if we can do anything at all to help anybody or to promote anybody, I've promoted DoryCon, I've promoted US Drift, I've promoted, AMA, if anybody out there that has any hand in the drifting community, if you need something or you want to do something with us, please reach out. We are not opposed to doing anything with anybody. It is what it is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what anybody's doing. Everybody has their own way of doing things, and everybody has their own style. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're open arms to anybody out there.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think anything that we do, with people or groups of people, what just happened in the comments? Sometimes life ultimately must have, and the life does not have when not demands. Okay. So my YouTube comments, guys, just so you know, sometimes are unhinged, and I thought that's what just happened, but it's not what just happened.
I think he's being genuine, but the fact that I walked 14 miles yesterday, my brain can't even read that sentence right now. But
He is.
Shout out to you,
It,
man.
it took me a minute because I've had so many random things happen from the YouTube. So I'm like, do I need to turn it off? I think when you do anything that includes groups of people, you can't please everyone. And I think that's the tougher part in all the spaces. And my take on it is we live in a reality of duality. So people are constantly trying to strive for perfection when the reality is they're really striving for balance. You
Yeah.
can't know love if you don't know hate. You can't know pleasure if you don't know pain. So it's why I have a tendency to choose neutrality as often as I can until I'm given a reason not to, because so and so may not like so and so B. I might not have a problem with so and so B, but it doesn't mean I have a problem with so and so A until there's a reason to have a problem.
Correct.
Because until you see it for yourself, all it is words from somebody, and you don't know where all of it meets and it's the truth, because there's truth from both sides, but you don't know how much of it is truth. So I think that's the tough one, is everybody's narrative is a little different. Um,
Yeah.
that's why I usually try to go, okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
Is there something you need me to do, or are we good? Like, what, where are we?
Yeah.
Because I don't, Chadwick, you're still in there. Sometimes you get stuck in the middle between groups, and you get stuck in the middle between drivers, or you get stuck in the middle of, other media people. And it's just like, you can have your opinion. That's okay. We don't have to agree. But it's like some people are very set on the fact, well, you have to do it this way. No, sure don't. Do what I want over here, but that's great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Take it
Yeah.
under advisement.
And that's the beautiful thing about drifting, and I think that's the beautiful thing about the way we run these events, and that everybody is in the same space, everybody's in the same situation. Some people are better off than some others, some people aren't. Some people have better skill, whatever it is. I mean, it doesn't matter. When you walk through the gates of Yokai and you go to get on that track, you are going to be treated the same way that the person behind you is going to be treated, no matter what. Now, that being
Yeah.
said, so it's getting a little late. I'm feeling a little loose, but if you're disrespectful and you
Sure.
do things you're not supposed to, then there's consequences
That
to
has to
that.
be addressed as well. Yeah.
Of course, and luckily, even leading back to the Spirit Days, there really, in the event space that we have, there really is no reason to be that way, and we never dealt with that at the track. We never dealt with anybody that was like that. If you don't like us, I'm sorry. Luckily there isn't a lot of people out there that don't like us, which we're very happy to know. But if you don't, we're sorry. If we can fix it and change it, we will,
Sure.
in our best interest, but we are
Hey,
unapologetically us.
hang on a second. Chadwick, I didn't mention you because there was an issue. I mentioned you because you're like the only media person in here. And I'm sure you've probably been stuck in the middle between people before. It's the only reason you were mentioned. No reason beyond that. You're not in trouble. There's no scandal.
No, Chadwick's defending his honor right now, and I'm here for it.
He just messaged. He's like, no one did anything wrong for you to say that. Dawn, explain.
No, everybody was great, and like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to bring something to the community, and whether you think that something is good or whether you think it's bad, some people think it's good, some people think it's bad, and the people that we think it's good, we're here for them, and even the people that think it's bad, we're here for them also. So it is
sure.
It is what it is.
Okay, we're on the same page now. Chadwick, nothing happened. There's no scandal. I'm so sorry.
Chadwick, you're gonna get a big hug from me next time I see you, dog. I promise. I promise.
Let's see what else we have here. Let's see. Never enough seat time from Kelly. And Chadwick says we love drifting to have fun. Exactly. And that goes back again. What are you there for? There to have a good time, or are you trying to scale it up? Because it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
Drifting is so much fun and such a great way from Monday to Friday gig. Yeah, it's a great break. It's different.
Yeah.
I love you too, Chadwick, even though I tried to start a scandal, apparently.
Speaking of scandals, I don't want anybody out there to think that like I'm throwing shade when I say any of this towards a specific group, specific person. I am not referencing anybody in particular. I'm just saying, things happen and social media is real. I think everybody spends way too much time on it. I know ever since the events have started, and even since before this, I've been on my phone way too. I've never seen my phone die this fast so much in my whole entire life. But you know, it is real, and you know, maybe this will make it in a video in itself. But you know, we love everybody, and there's no particular person that I'm speaking of or going after or anything like that. And somebody edits this, and not you. I know you won't, but I'm saying somebody grabs a clip of this and edits it like they do. Yeah, no, just you can find the original VOD on Don's channel. You can hear the whole thing, and yeah, no, we're no shade, no shade, no shade.
Yeah, no, I think there's so much that happens that I think it depends on where you live in the space as to what you see, because not everything that goes on social media is what's actually happening.
Yeah.
You know, and there's sometimes there's things that are in the works, and some people know and some people don't. And sometimes you get blindsided by something. Sometimes, and I hate that I have to say any of this, but because I've experienced it, that's
Yeah.
the frustration point is that I've seen it. And I've seen a lot of things where it's frustrating because it's hard to talk about because you don't want to you don't want to throw anybody under the bus because everybody's learning, but it's
Yeah.
like at the same time it's like, can we just show up and do the thing and just be okay with the fact that we all showed up in the same space?
Yeah.
But there are some situations where people are really judgy, and you know what happens is those things start to fade out because nobody likes being there.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really unfortunate. So that's why I said I think your event I think your event went really well. Apparently I could not do those words together.
I still hear fire, fire, fire in this ear to this day. That's all I still hear. So I'm right there with you.
Well, I was out in one of the boxes on the track, and somebody goes, "I think that car's on fire." And I'm like, Yep, that's what that looks like. Now, he was fine. It was fine. If something about oil went somewhere, and that was what caught on fire. So like everything was okay. But it's definitely it was definitely one of those moments where it's a reminder that we're dealing with things that are risky. We know the things are risky. Like even doing the media is risky. We all know that going into it. And it's
Yeah.
why you got to have your head on a swivel and pay attention.
Yeah, I mean, hey, no fault to that driver. He had the perfect
Mhm.
response, and he knew exactly what he was supposed to do.
Mhm.
I couldn't have told him to do it better. No fault to his own. Like I said, I mean, basically what happened, and I mean, I'll tell you exactly how it was. I was standing all the way across on the other side of the lot with my earpiece in, and I just hear fire, fire, fire. I start running. Somebody, I don't know who, and maybe they're here, maybe they'll see this, but somebody ran up next to me and handed me one of our large fire extinguishers that we had on standby, which we had many of them, thank God. But handed me one as I was running, so it like appeared in my hand and halfway over to the car. And you know, basically, you know, he drove aggressively, he drove, you know, constantly, and you know, the risk that comes with that is, you know, he had a turbo blanket catch on fire, which then melted a hose, a power steering hose, I believe, and I could be wrong on that, but melted a hose. And luckily he did have the perfect response, which gave us the perfect response to get it out very quickly. Nobody was injured. The car, he sent me, I actually saw pictures of it today. He has already cleaned up that car completely 100%.
Mhm.
You could never tell that it was on fire. And it's all part of the game.
He stopped yesterday. Before he trailered it yesterday. He took it through a car wash because he was worried. He was worried about leaving the soot and all the chemicals and stuff on the vehicle. So he took it and washed it before he put it on the trailer.
Yeah, no, he nailed it perfectly on the head, and it's part of the game. I mean, the crashes, you know, luckily we really didn't have that many crashes. I would
No.
classify them as boops, which are normal.
I call them oopses and bruises because that's
Yeah.
kind of what it is. It's like, oops, all right, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that's all part of the game, and nobody got hurt. Nobody left an ambulance. Nobody left even in pain. You know, it went beautifully. Everybody did exactly what they were supposed to do in the best way that they could, and you know, we're super thankful for that. Insurance ain't cheap, y'all. I'll throw that out there.
No.
Insurance is not cheap for a NASCAR track.
No.
So yeah, we were really appreciative of the control that everybody had. I mean, even the novice drivers had crazy control of their vehicles and did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do we have any more questions, guys, or can I let Bryce go to bed? Because I'm sure, although you and I both caught random naps today, I was not prepared for mine. I took a 3-hour nap that was completely unintentional. That's why I didn't get to the photos.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a nap or I just passed out. Honestly, it was one
Fair.
of two.
Fair.
It was I was there and then I woke up. It just happened that way. But
It's fair.
yeah, it was definitely a lot. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'll my closing, I guess, statements would be gosh. First of all, thank you so much for having me on here.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to be on here and a part of this and be able to talk to the people that joined and were at the event and share what we saw. You know, I'm only one person. I have a team and they're great at what they do, but I can only hear and see so much throughout the day. So I'm sure there's things that I missed. I'm sure there's people that I missed. There was a ton of people there. So I tried my best to make my rounds, but thank you so much to everybody that came out. Thank you, everybody that participated, people you know, that came out who had no idea what we were doing, to the people that knew what we were doing. Thank you to the people that stuck through the uncertainty when, you know, we're posting things randomly and saying it's coming, and you know, had to go through that whole thing. Thank you for sticking it through us. All I can really say is we love you all so much. All the volunteers, thank you so much. We love you all the media people, we love you all. Richmond Raceway, thank you so much. Specifically Jessica and Lance, you know, the people who work for Richmond Raceway. Jessica, I love you. I know you're tired of me, and you should be. Funny, quick story before we go. But after the event was over, we had multiple we had like Ridge bought multiple cars, and so we had to leave and come back and things like that.
Okay.
And all the events were gone around us, and me and Brandon, Ridge and them left, so it was just me and Brandon at the track. And I decided with Brandon that we were going to stay and sweep the track and clean the track. We wanted to leave the track better than when we had gotten there. Which is where the picture came from that we posted at the end of the night saying thank you to everybody.
Sure.
You know, there were some tears shed for sure. And we were sitting there, and Daniel and some of our other volunteers were coming back, and they actually called me while we were sitting there and I was writing that post and let us know that the gates were locked to the raceway and there was nobody there. And so I was like, well, there's 24/7 security. I have their number. Let me call. Turns out there wasn't. And so we were locked in there for a little bit. No fault to the Raceway whatsoever. No fault to Jessica whatsoever. It was actually a great experience for the first event to have that happen and a great story to tell in the future. It was very quick response times. It was not long that we were locked in there whatsoever. And we weren't, I wouldn't even say locked in, but it was a great story for that to happen. And I thought Jessica was gonna rip my head off when I had to call her and tell her that I couldn't get out. But it was very short, and you know, everybody was very safe. And you know, me and Brandon definitely had a moment walking around an empty track and an empty thing after all those people being there at the end of the day, and had a very real realization of it brought purpose back into personally my life, to be able to do that and to see everybody there. And all I can say is, you know, we love you all. Don, love you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Love you guys.
Thank you for having me on. And the last thing I say is the dates are coming. The events will only be bigger as long as we have the support of the community behind us. Our promise is to dump everything we absolutely have into this to make this. Somebody made the comment earlier, make drifting great again. I'm not going to use that because it's a little, it might be a little controversial. But drifting's been great in Richmond. The events that have been happening are great, and our only intention is to make the culture better and work with everybody around us to give everybody a home, and that's our only goal.
Okay, all right. Well, Chadwick said night, y'all. Glad y'all made it home safe. See y'all at the next one. I don't know if he's still here, but have a good night. It was good to see you. I actually never get to see him at any of the events. We and like keep on going. So it's actually nice to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
I think it's actually like our first real conversation ever. And and Danny said night in the museum. Okay, because they were locked in. Big congrats on Yokai Kaizen. We needed you. Thank you, Don and Bryce. Thank you, Danny. And especially for all the efforts it sounds like you put in. He says y'all locked in now.
Yeah, no, Ryan's locked in now. I'm surprised. His wife probably, his wife, Chris's wife, probably want to kill me, and that's totally understandable. I stole so much of their time. Luckily, they came willingly. I won't let their wives know that they came willingly, but they came willingly. And yeah, no, they were great.
Well, that's good. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Glad you guys stuck in there with us, and we'll see you on the next one. I'll hit end, and then we'll be in the studio together. So give me just a minute.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.